It is the 25th day of the counting of the Omer. That means we're halfway there because on the 50th day it is Shavuot. We stay up all night and we study, we learn together. And hopefully the heavens open at the Chatzot at midnight, open to our prayers because we have earned the listening, the hearing, the Shema. We've earned it with our learning together, with our counting each day to make every day count as best we can. And so we're halfway there. Time, that's one thing. You can always count on two things. One, tomorrow will be different from today, as difficult as today might be, as glorious as today might be. You can't hold on. You just cannot hold on because time will pass. That's the one thing. And we keep going, and so every day is new. So I apologize that my sacred partner is not here today. He's at the doctor. Nothing serious, just had to get those eyes checked. And I know we're here with us in spirit because he left his poetry, which was really sweet. So I've got that. We say a blessing for learning first. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Ruach ha'olam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Teach us to take these words of Torah, the black fire and the white fire, then turn them to busy ourselves, to soak ourselves, to immerse ourselves in these words of Torah, so that each time we come out with something new, something a little bit more that illuminates what we need to know a little bit better. So the other thing is to count, and Jimmy left, of course, one of his counting poems. So let me offer the counting for the fourth week. And as we've been saying, every week has its own sensibility, its own attribute of godliness. This is the fourth week. We are in Netzach. And then every day it gets attached to another one. So we are in Netzach and Netzach. Netzach, is, Jimmy translates that as you think you know. There's something sure about Netzach. And we're sure about ourselves. Somebody just walked into my house. I don't know who it is. It's Jim! Just in time! Are you okay? You should sit next to me. Here we go. Just in time for your poetry. What do you say? I just introduced your poem. I didn't think you'd make it. Okay. Will you read your...
I can't see.
Oh, no. Do you want me to read it?
Did you go on?
Yeah, we're on. I introduced it. I got to the counting. I said why we're doing this. And just about to read the poem.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So we're in the fourth week. We're counting Netzach today, the quality of Netzach within. And today is a double measure of that. Netzach, of course, means endurance, or even has a sense of eternality. It's confidence, sense of confidence. That's confidence. So today, dare I say, courage and bravery, these words that aren't ordinarily a part of our vocabulary. Let me just say my vocabulary, but in recent years, actually, they are a part of my vocabulary. So we get a double measure of that's a confidence on one side of the spectrum and courage.
Nice.
Or bravery even on the other side of the span of meaning. I don't know if I can read here. Let's see. Second triad. confident and long look. What today? A day with awareness. Whatever day it is, make it a spiritual experience. Chesed, love. Gevura, restraint. Tiferet, beauty. Netzach, you think you know. Hod, you don't.
I love that. I
You-
love that balance. I really do. Because it is so true, isn't it? Sorry.
Yesod, foundation in the body. Malchut, the spigot. Here we go. Hayom chamisha ve'esrim yom shehem shlosha shavuot va'arba'a yamim la'omer. Today is day 25 of the Omer, which is 3 weeks and 4 days of the Omer. Bless our president, our vice president, and all their noble retinue.
Mm-hmm.
The counting of the Omer, as taught by Randy Newman, Paul Simon, Joni Prince, Richard Thompson, Laura, and Ben Bagbag. Fountain, its origins, love. Love, chesed, loving kindness overflowing. Negotiations by gevura, restraint. Lifted up and balanced into tiferet, beauty. With netzach, this time ready. Second pass, you think you know. You don't know. Looking for soul in Hod. Settling into synthesis, Yesod in your slacks.
Mm-hmm.
With Malchut, the spigot is yours. Turn it, don't turn it.
Nice. Beautiful. So we are halfway there with Netzach and Netzach. I think that's
Halfway there?
Well, yeah, day 25,
Wow.
right? There's 50 days.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think of that. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, that's, again, we can count on time
That's wild.
going forward. And
We better slow down.
I think it's so wonderful that it's Netzach and Netzach. There's this certainty. I mean, you have to have a certain amount of certainty to live, right? On the other hand, if you have too much, it's going to get you into trouble.
Oh, man,
for
I got to
sure.
read that piece
The
then.
sin of certainty. Which one?
Dr. M teaches the Omer. Go ahead, keep talking. I love this, what you're saying.
Well, I think we should get into the.
Okay, but let me just read this
read
piece.
that one because it's.
Dr. M teaches the Omer. Almost all your certainty is misplaced. Fountain its origins toward love, chesed, loving kindness overflowing, bordered by moderate, I can't read it, bordered by gevura, restraint, lifted and balanced into, never mind, I can't read it.
You want me to read it?
No, it's okay.
It's such a
Anyway,
good one.
you're saying
It's
this.
about that balance.
Yeah,
It's about the balance. And, it's interesting. I never thought about it. All these times we've read that and I've thought about that. It's kind of like the teaching that, if we didn't have the Yetzer Hara, a house would never be built. A baby would never be born. I don't know. Isn't that?
Write a book.
Yeah. What?
Also write a book.
And write a. Well, no. That's what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
But isn't that the teaching that if there was not the Yetzer Hara, write a book? Isn't that one? I don't think so.
I think
It's all these things that are about, ego. A lot of these things would never happen. Well, maybe write a book too. Write a book. And what fits actually.
Yeah.
Especially today. Oh my God, so true. But it's this thing about
push
balance, and if if we have to have both the Yetzer Hara, the not so good inclination, and the Yetzer HaTov, the good
Not
inclination.
Hatov.
Yetzer Tov.
Tov.
Sorry, Yetzer Tov.
It's okay.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so we left off in chapter 6, verse 8.
There you are.
Yeah. And I think this is so beautiful. This is a beautiful image. It's about the harems. And they did have harems in those days. There were concubines, there were harems, there were women as property. And they were a source of wealth because they would be baby makers. But they had to be beautiful too, beautiful baby makers. But they were the baby makers. That was the thing about the harem. However, the harem, the what?
It's a funny word to use.
What?
Harem. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
Good.
70 are the queens, 80 the king's women, maidens without number. What are we talking about here?
Well, they're playing off of the description of Solomon.
Yeah, he had harems.
Right.
That's what he did. He collected women because it was a sign of wealth, and he had a lot of babies, and his kids did not. The idea that a lot of children was going to be a blessing never really worked out for them, did it?
Oh, that's an interesting subject. Another subject. Oh my God! Solomon had 700 wives, 300 concubines. That's what that's
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
playing
it's the
off of,
harems.
right?
Chris,
You think he actually had that many? Well, that's not the question. He had a lot.
He had a lot, and that was, again, it was a sign of wealth.
Yeah.
It was a sign of wealth. Possessing these women was a sign of wealth. How
Yeah.
gross is that? I
Well,
mean,
that's
really.
gross. I know.
But I will say that there are inner consequences of some of these things. I know you're sick of hearing this, but
No.
in my rabbinical
How
thesis,
could I be sick
I
of
talked
you?
about how
I love this subject.
You do?
Yeah.
So I will say I interviewed my grandmother who came from Turkey.
Love it.
Yeah, and the fact that the women from the harem, we're talking turn of the 20th century, right?
Right.
Or turn of the 20th century. She was already coming here as a grown up in 1916. So the turn of the century there, and we have this woman, Lady Mary Wortley Montague, who wrote these letters in the late 1800s that confirmed this as well. So there were harems at that time in the Ottoman Empire, and the women in the harems used to use the hammam.
You know that they used the
bath.
hammam and they had a community there?
They used the hammam. It's true.
I know.
And the Jewish women, when they didn't have a proper mikvah, would also go to the hammam. And so the Jewish women, my grandmother told me this, of blessed memory. So the Jewish women and the Muslim women the Turkish women would go to the hammam. They would make friends. They would see that they were both clean, unlike, this is just the lore of the time. The Christian women, who they didn't see at the bath, so they didn't think were clean.
Right.
So it was the Jewish women and the Muslim women, the harem women.
Yeah.
And the Jewish women saw it as an opportunity to provide toiletries, silks, and other things that the Muslim women, the harem women wanted. And they saw the Jewish women had, so they said, yeah, we'll get it for you. We'll get it for you at cost, So they did. And the Jewish women, this is the important part, I think, because they had this economic opportunity, they had more rights at the turn of the century in the Ottoman Empire than women anywhere else in Judaism, as far as inheritance, divorce, language. The Shekhinah became a big thing. So because women had influence over because they had economic power. So not to think that economic power doesn't make a difference in the
and one of the locus places was the hammam.
The hammam was the place. And my grandmother of blessed memory, Sarika, told me that was true. I said, no, could this possibly be true? While I was writing my thesis, she said, yeah.
Yeah, because you were looking at a 17th century text.
The Mayam Loez. I was. that suggested that that was happening.
Yeah,
And she said, "Oh yeah,
beautiful.
oh yeah."
Of course.
So
Doesn't
the harems.
everybody know that?
So it's never, I think that's the thing about
That's good.
Netzach and Hod. You just never know. You don't know. You jump to these conclusions about things because you have just enough information, right? And
Yeah.
and then you get a little more information and you see it's more complicated
You
than
think
that.
you know.
But you don't.
And then Hod comes around and say, hey,
Mm-mm.
hold on a second.
There's more to this story than you think.
Then you come to a place of balance, real balance, in the third pillar of the triad.
Yeah.
That's good, Susie.
So verse 9. So the harems are verse 8, but of course he says, one alone, one alone, one alone. Only
my eyes
you,
are all dilated.
my
sorry,
undefiled, is but one. One alone is my dove.
What verse are you, my dear?
Verse 9.
Okay.
Now here's an interesting thing.
Yonati, oh gosh.
Yonati, my dove.
That's it.
My perfect, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Again, here we have, we're moving into another section of wasif, which is, pure description, physical description. Yonati. What is that? Tamati? Khati. Can't really read it. My eyes are messed up.
Oh, are you reading?
Le'ima.
Le'ima.
To your mother. She's the one for her mother.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Tamati.
Is that what it says? Perfect.
Tamati.
She's perfect.
Tam-A, right?
Tam.
Tam-A, not pure, but tam simple.
Tama.
Oh, like from the child at Passover.
Yeah, but a feminine form.
Tamati, she's my innocent.
Yeah.
Right? Achad, he le'ima. What does that mean? The only one of her mother. I mean, when your mother loves you the best.
Maybe. Don't go there. Oh my God.
I know, really.
Barahi.
Light of her mother's eyes.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit about mothering in this,
Uh-huh.
So the light of her mother's eyes.
Yeah.
Verse 9.
That's good.
Yeah. The daughters.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Melachot, right?
Every
Queens.
maiden calls her happy, right? Queens praise her.
Peligashim and concubines.
All the king's women, all those harems, they're not jealous. They praise her because she's innocent. She's just lovely, and that must be a big thing too. There's no jealousy there. He's saying, you're just exceptional. There's nobody like you, right? Because you evoke love in everyone. It's magic.
Sister.
Huh? It's magic. It's magic. So then I think the last verse that we can do is verse 10. That's where the blocks cut it off here.
Okay.
And then
Zot. Nishkafa.
Yeah, Mizot.
Moshecha. Like the dawn. Yeah. Yafa. Like the moon. Beautiful like the moon.
Kalavana.
Bara. Clear. Kechama, like the sun. Here's that word again. Ayuma, is that what it is?
Ayuma. Terrible. Terrific, right? That's that word.
Yeah.
We had that yesterday.
Spectacular.
Ayuma. It's so odd, awful. It's awesome.
Like the banners.
Right? In English. Yeah. Like those banners of war. They're just
oh my God.
Daunting. Who is that rising like the morning star, clear as the moon, bright as the blazing sun, daunting as the stars in their course? So daunting. This is the chorus, right?
That's an interesting one.
Yeah. I think that's the chorus, don't you think?
Yeah. Daunting is lovely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful.
Should we say prayer for healing?
Oh yeah, please. We could use it.
For the healing of the spirit, healing of the body, we close. because we're sensitive and we're feeling the time. We're feeling the time. We're going to do a concert for an reveal of our Psalms project, of the recordings we made. And what those recordings come out of, we were feeling the time when we did that project. Right, Susie?
Yeah.
So we're going to do that in June.
June 2nd. June 2nd.
So stay tuned for that, sports fans, and it's going to be really something good.
Yeah.
Healing of the body and the healing of the spirit. Healing of the spirit and the healing of the body. The integration of the two, the fundamental activity when we listen to or read Shir, HaShirim. The intersection of the physical and the spiritual.
It is.
Where they rest within each other.
And the physical as nature, right? Mirrored in the world of nature. The beauty of nature.
Mirrored also in the world of relations.
Yeah, beautiful.
Lovers, beloveds. That third voice. The third voice. The Beno to Yerushalayim. I'm intrigued by the third voice.
Yeah, that chorus. Is that voice that's always in your head? Like, is this real?
Yeah.
Yeah, that voice could be so many different things. What is it for you? What is it for you?
For the healing of the spirit, the healing of the body, for those we know, for those we don't know. On my right, the angel Michael, on my left, the angel Gabriel. In front of me, the angel Uriel, 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 Uriel. Behind me, Raphael, and above my head, 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 above my head. Shekhinah. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim, blessed are you, great healer.
Thanks for joining us on this 25th day of the counting of the Omer as we move through chapter 6 of Shir HaShirim. It's only 8 chapters. So we will get there together on Shavuot. And I think on Shavuot is when we're going to do our Siyum as a Zoom. We decided that yesterday, I think.
You did?
Yeah. So it might be fun.
I wasn't there.
No, I know.
Oh.
I forgot to tell you.
Okay.
So thanks for being with us. Hope it's a good day, a healthy day, a meaningful day as we pass the halfway point on our path to Sunday.